Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about the round robin scheduling algorithm, or in short we are calling it as RR algorithm. This scheduling algorithm is the simplest and widely used algorithm which is specially designed for time sharing as well as for the multi-user system. One point let me clear you here, that the round robin scheduling can be implemented by using the preemptive scheme. Okay, and the main requirement of using this round robin scheduling is to provide the good response time so that the entire system is shared among the different users. Okay, so whenever we talk about the CPU time slice, that means whatever the CPU time is there, we are going to divide it into slices, and these slices generally range from 10 millisecond to 100 milliseconds. Now to make the idea clear of how exactly this round robin scheduling works, let me take the help of a diagram. Imagine that there is a queue. Think for example, this is the queue, okay, which we call it as ready queue, and here in this queue we are having three processes, process P1, P2 and P3. Okay, so as we know that the round robin scheduling is going to divide the entire CPU time in the form of time slices. Okay, so each and every process in this ready queue is going to get one time slice to execute. If getting the time slice means, like for example here P1 is ready in the ready queue, so P1 is going to get the CPU for a specific time, that means for a particular time slice. And if P1 is executing, if P1 is finishing with the execution within that time slice, that means it is going to complete the job, that means complete the execution. If in case P1 is not able to finish with the execution within the given time slice, then it is preempted. That means the CPU is taken away from P1 and it is allocated to the next process available in the ready queue. And P1 is once again entering into the ready queue and waiting for its term to get the time slice once again so that it can execute again. And this process will continue until and unless all the processes are finishing with the execution. I hope you people got the idea about the working of this round robin scheduling algorithm. Now let us see the example of this round robin scheduling. Here I am considering three processes, process P1, P2 and P3. Along with this CPU burst time, I am going to give the time slice as 5 millisecond. This is the assumed time slice. That means each and every process P1, P2 and P3 are going to get the 5 millisecond time slice for its execution. Okay, and in case if these processes are not able to finish within the given time slice, once again it has to be in the ready queue and it should be wait for the next time slice, next time slice where it can execute once again or where it can resume with the execution. Okay, now please do keep this table in mind. I'll show you the Gantt chart by using the round robin scheduling algorithm. So here I have kept the table so that we can refer to this table and we can check with the burst time of each and every process while drawing the Gantt chart. Now starting with process P1, as we are having only 5 milliseconds allocated to each and every process, so P1 is going to get executed for 5 milliseconds. And because within this 5 millisecond it is not able to finish with the execution, since it requires total 25 milliseconds. Okay, so it is finishing with the first 5 milliseconds of execution and P1 is getting preempted. That means the CPU is taken away from P1 and it is given to the process P2. So after 5 milliseconds the CPU is getting allocated to P2. Okay, now the time slice is constant, that is 5 milliseconds. But P2 requires only 3 milliseconds to get executed. So within the given time, P2 is getting executed, and after 3 millisecond, that means starting at 5th millisecond till 8th millisecond, P2 is getting executed. And once it is finished with the execution, it is going to release the CPU. Next, now it is the turn of P3. So now P3 is going to get the processor for 5 milliseconds once again. Now as you can see, the burst time of P3, it is once again 3 milliseconds only. So P3 is going to complete its execution within the given time slice. Okay, once P3 has finished with this execution, the CPU is once again allocated to process P1. Okay, now here P1 is once again getting executed for 5 milliseconds. So here 5 milliseconds and here 5 milliseconds, totally 10 milliseconds is done. Now once again, if you can see, we had only 3 processes and already P2 and P3 has finished with the execution. After 5 milliseconds of execution of P1, once again it is going to get the CPU, and this process will continue unless P1 is going to finish with the execution. So after 31 millisecond, P1 is finishing with its execution, right? So now if you calculate the average waiting time, so the average waiting time for P2 was 5 milliseconds, because P2 got CPU at 5th millisecond and P3 got CPU at 8 millisecond. That's why 5 plus 8. Now coming to P1 here, because P1 did not waited for the CPU to get allocated, because the execution started with process P1. So initially the waiting time was 0. Okay, afterwards till 11th millisecond P2 was waiting. Okay, till 11th millisecond means after 5th millisecond till 11th millisecond. So what exactly you have to do is 11 minus 5. That's why here I have written 6. So the average waiting time for P1 will be 6 milliseconds. Okay, so now when you calculate the overall average waiting time for P1, P2, P3, it will be somewhere around 6.3 milliseconds. Okay. Now, if you talk about the average turnaround time, it will be like 31. 31 is the total time taken, plus 8 plus 11. 31 because P1 finished with its execution at 31 millisecond. 8 because P2 finished with its execution at 8th millisecond, and 11 as P3 finished with its execution at 11th millisecond. And because we wanted the average, so we will divide it by 3. So the average turnaround time by using round robin scheduling is 16.6 milliseconds. Okay. Now if you talk about the advantages, this round robin scheduling can be applicable to the preemptive schedulings or preemptive scheme. It is basically suitable when we are talking about time sharing and multi-user systems, and it is having a very good response time. But when you talk about the disadvantages, the turnaround time depends on the time slices or the size of time slices, which may range from 10 millisecond to 100 millisecond. Okay, and the average turnaround time is increasing for smaller time quantum. Okay, that means the average waiting time is more, and implementation of this round robin scheduling algorithm is little bit difficult. I hope you people understood the concept of round robin